Hey there, guys. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. It's around 4:30 here in Dhaka right now. I woke up around a little early because it was very tiring last night and it was storming and I had a long day. Like weather is changing, hot and humid. So I'm still focusing from this angle. Soon I will appear in the camera. I hope our the review should rather go on. So today, what I have for you is from House of YSL, and it's a very rare fragrance. It's a very rare fragrance. I look for vintage at times. This is the female version of one of the pair that was released in 2008 from the Opium line for women. So this is called, I think I'm gonna butcher the name. I do not know how to pronounce it because I never seen any review. I think I'm the first one who's reviewing this in English, perhaps. Okay, but I could be wrong. It's called Opium Poesie de Chine. Yeah, Poesie. It sounds like something, but it basically perhaps means in French poetry from China. Okay, so when I say China, I don't mean to sound like Mr. Trump. China. I'm sorry about that. It's not funny, but I miss that character. So he was quite a character. He used like with the faces, a lot of meme king. But anyway, coming back to this fragrance, it's a funny thing. This perfume, when you write the name of this fragrance, type it in Facebook or you try to post it or search, they will say alert, big danger, and then say, it's related to drugs and stuff like that. I guess the name, it's kind of controversial, but back in the days there was no such issue with the name of the perfume. Nowadays, I think the whole line of this fragrance are, let's say this one I'm putting side by side is that my favorite, the Purom, just keeping as a reference. I reviewed Opium for Women and also Opium, Black Opium and some of the other flankers. So I know this house. I reviewed many YSL fragrances, which is a proud thing for me, like YSL Purom, YSL La Nuit de l'Homme, L'Homme, YSL Y line, Kuros line. I will talk about Kuros line after a while. But this fragrance right here is a very rare one, 2008. So that's basically like how many years? 14 years ago? Yes, or more. So the men's one used to be blue. Okay, so I'll show you the packaging. Some people like it, some people don't. It's a women's perfume, but I think it's very unisex. Opium fragrances are, to me, very unisex the way they wear. Okay, we'll talk about the notes. So the original Opium, it's basically was very animalic and very not loud. I would say it had a persona of being out there. Like safari for women. That one. Let's say, what's that fragrance? Man, I'm trying to remember. Uh, anyway, I cannot remember the name. It's the blue bottle and it's iconic fragrance. Anyway, so Shalimar, yes, Guerlain Shalimar. So those fragrances are always out there, not for everybody. Really require a lot of wearing. Chanel Number 5, YSL Opium. Definitely for me, it's one of those big fragrances for women. And black opiums, these are newer ones, sweeter ones are good, but these ones had animalic touches, so it required you to wear, with a lot of persona. So this bottle, I think it was released in two sizes or one, 50 and 100. I have 100 ml. And I heard, first thing I'll tell you, this Chinese writing, the people from China, some of the people who are Chinese, they said this looks cheap. And I don't know what this means, maybe poetry or something, but they say they don't like this writing of the bottle either. For me, it's fine. I like something that's different, doesn't look anything like modern days. So that's how that looks. Okay, back there, a lot of information, and this perhaps it's more wearable version of Opium, in my humble opinion. I'll talk about that. So it says Eau de Orient edition limited edition. Okay, and YSL. This bottle, it's like this. I really wish I found a vintage Opium or Opium for Men EDP. Those would be fantastic. But I dig this. This is beautiful yellow juice. Reminds me of Opium, YSL Purom, which I used to own. Russian lettering, I don't know what that means. Back there, red and grading down, like fading down to transparent. And the cap, it gives that plasticky feel. It's a plastic cap. Back in the days, that's how they made it. And the atomizer here. Let me show you the spray. Beautiful. It's just that shoots out a lot of juice. It's like one time you spray, it sort of like gives you whatever would be a 1 ml sample. Okay, so let us settle down. Let me tell you the notes in this. Ginger, tangerine, mandarin orange, citruses up top. Okay, middle notes are, I'm reading from Fragrantica, by the way. I do not memorize these. Middle notes are magnolia, jasmine. Okay, and then base notes are myrrh, patchouli, vanilla, and musk. So relatively less like animalic notes breakdown. There's no civet, there's no oak moss. But I'll tell you what, this fragrance, the original opium is spicy, oriental, sort of like opium purum also does have this nice fruity opening. It goes to vanilla, and I think there is a lot of spices in there. What's the spice that I'm thinking? Think it was whatever is in Chanel Allurum or Perilis M rather. I think cinnamon. Man, early morning, no coffee. It's very difficult to remember everything. But yeah, spicy, oriental. This one for me, I tried the opium, the female version. It's very, nowadays, very much of a shadow of a former self. This one would be somewhere in between the vintage and the modern formulation, but more wearable. What I mean by more wearable, a lot of citrus is in there. That tangerine, if you really put your nose, if you do not, if you're not a fragrance enthusiast or like collector, or you do research, if you don't do those things, to you it will come off as a powdery women's perfume that is for 90s vibe, 90s era Scarface movie, or something like, Jodie Foster would be wearing this, okay, something like that, okay. But if you actually put your nose, you'll find these, like a spicy gingery opening, which is kind of gives the spice, nice little spice, but the tangerine orangey, really nice, really citrusy opening. It's sweet. It slowly goes down to more mild or subtle spices, but that vanilla will pop up and the florals will make it more sweeter. In my humble opinion, you can wear this any part of the year. If you ever had this, like you will not find it anymore in the shops, perhaps once in a while in vintage shops or discounters. Luckily you find it. Try it. I would like to try the men's one, but it's really nice fragrance. I would wear this easily. Beautiful sillage and longevity on me. Okay, I wore this moment I got it. I put this two sprays on my neck, both sides, two on my each shoulder, and both arms I covered. Huge sprays as you saw, and it was breezy, like a nice breezy day. It was warm, a bit humid. That was the weather, but due to the breeze, it was projecting a lot through my mask because of my neck area. It was on, so it was projecting beautiful. I could smell it. It was leaving a nice scent trail, but not to say something like Kuros. Okay, it's not an animalic, skanky, overbearing sweetness, or sorry, overbearing oak mossy animalic vibe. Okay, this one, none of it. I really enjoy the powderiness of it. Oh man, this is so beautiful. It's just mesmerizing. Nowadays, I'll just tell you why I find it mesmerizing. Nowadays, whatever, I don't want to say crap is out, but a lot of fragrances nowadays out are very thoughtless, like they don't have a soul, and a lot of these fragrances, they smell good, make you smell really obvious, obnoxious, sweet, loud. But back in the days, something about fragrances, they used to make them like a character. This fragrance right here, it reminds me like some people, real people, not to say people from China, but what does it remind me of? Think of perhaps a little bit, if you watched something like The Last Samurai, where Tom, I always forget this guy's name, and that's a shame. He's the biggest actor of Tom Cruise. Sorry, yes. So he goes there, supposedly working, fighting against the warriors, and like Japanese samurai. That was Japanese, but not China. But imagine like their Japanese tradition, like Chinese old days. If you saw the movies, if you see dragons, kings, they have this nice traditional house. They drink miso soup. If I'm going wrong, do not bash me too much. I'm not a historian. I'm human only. But the movies, whatever we watch, they eat rice with the chopsticks. They eat really nice food, and they bow down, bow down, the respect. So basically, this reminds me of those things. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That is the movie this fragrance reminds me of. Really nice wearing, man. I think it's star anise. Yes, I'm trying to remember star anise. That is also present in this. But I would say the oranges, the citruses will go away after 5 to 10 minutes, and what you're gonna remain with that floral powderiness. If you do not like powdery fragrances, this one's something I would not suggest to you. But it's mild floral, mild powdery, so it's not a very challenging task. But it definitely smells not the latest trend. Okay, so vintage stuff, really good stuff. Smells amazing. Beautiful projection. Longevity on me was 5 to 6 hours, but some people say it's not that long lasting. But I guess people are referring to back in the days, like where opium or kuros or lapidus would last on you like 24 hours. That's not going to happen with this. Okay, our condition is hot and humid. We'll get like 5 to 6 hours, which is fine by me. So I wanted to actually review it and sell it off like someone else can enjoy this, because I have many fragrances nowadays similar to this, powerhouses. So a lot of women's perfume, but perhaps I'll keep this, or let's see how that goes. But it's definitely beautiful perfume. Men can easily wear this. You'll get compliments if you have wear it with rock it with confidence. Good luck finding it, by the way. But I really wish you could smell it. Nice, trendy. Back in the days, it's classy, it's fashionable, it's a statement maker. Way better than a lot of modern, soulless, robotic kind of perfumes. Okay, definitely has a character. I like the bottle. Some people say may not the best. It's okay. Bottle is not most important, but the fragrance, beautiful. Definitely belongs in this class. More wearable. Opium. Thank you very much for watching. Give it a try. If you find it, maybe you'll be lucky. You can find it $35 somewhere. But if you go for online prices, I think it's gonna be kind of crazy. Have a nice day. I'll rate this fragrance like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Have a nice day. Time for last video. Take care.